Hey everybody, it's Femtrooper, and today I'm going to talk about all the games I would want if I was stuck on a desert island. This is a topic I hear about all the time. You know, if you could only have so many games left, what would you want to have? Or, you know, if you'd only play 5 games in the rest of your whole life, what would it be? Or whatever. I hear this a lot, these desert island games, and it got me thinking, and it's actually really tough because most games I play, I don't replay. I don't necessarily want to play them again, and I started thinking, oh my god, you know, if I actually could only play like 5 or 6 games for the rest of my life and there were no other games, this is it. I have to actually just pick some games on my shelf and that's it. Which ones would they be? So I did come up with a list and I'm really happy with them because it really shows, you know, which games I will always play that don't get old for me. I'm going to start the list with a rhythm game. And this is one of my favorite games ever. It may be my #1 game for 2023 at the moment, and that is Theatrhythm Final Barline. And holy smokes, this is an incredible game. I'll never stop playing it. Like, I can always just pick this up and play it. And I used to say that with Curtain Call. I still think Curtain Call is fantastic, but this is the definitive, you know, Final Fantasy rhythm game, if you will, and now there's tons of DLC with other games on it, but this is just an incredible rhythm game because not only are you getting classic, you know, classic tunes, classic songs from Final Fantasy games, you're getting, like, every Final Fantasy game. You're getting, you know, niche iOS, Android, you know, Final Fantasy games. You're getting Chocobo Racing. You're getting, you know, Crisis Core. You get everything. It's not just Final Fantasy 1 up through 15. And no, 16 is not on this, but I'm sure it's coming. I would not be surprised. This is just fantastic. You can play it with, you know, there's a 2-player mode. Me and my husband have actually sat and played this, and he actually had a really good time playing it. I loved playing it with him. It's so fun. And there's some kind of strange rush you get from playing a rhythm game that I'll never stop. I'm a huge music fan, huge into music, especially scores, and, you know, video games have some of the best scores out there. It's not just movies or TV, so Final Fantasy, obviously known as being one of the best series for music. It is. Even the bad games, whatever ones you think those are, probably still have incredible music. I mean, I'm not necessarily a Final Fantasy 15 fan, but the music is really good and I like playing songs from it on here. So I do not get sick of this game. I could play it constantly for years and years. You know, I'll pick this up in like 10 years and still play it. So 100% Theatrhythm Final Barline. I recommend it to anybody. You may never have even played a Final Fantasy game, but you gotta check out this game. It is so good. Next, we're going to go with my favorite Switch game of all time. That's right, my very favorite Switch game. And yes, it is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's my favorite Switch game of all time. It beats everything else because of the replayability. I can always play this game. And with all the new DLC, I mean, I don't even know how many tracks there are now, but like a lot. Like, it's incredible. They already put out a DLC years ago, and then it came on Deluxe. It wasn't, you know, we bought it on the Wii U. Then I got Deluxe, and then, oh my god, like, there's so many tracks. It's so much fun. Again, you can play it with several people, whether it's, you know, just on your couch with a friend or online with your friends, online with strangers, whatever. It's so much fun. I love Mario Kart 8. It is one of the best games ever made. It's the best Mario Kart ever made, hands down. It is so much fun. The music in this game, guys, actually incredible. It's this great, jazzy, amazing score. I listen to it on my own free time. It's a really great experience. I absolutely love this game. It never gets old. Like, I'm pretty sure this came out in 2014, correct me if I'm wrong, and here I am still playing it. Now, I don't play it every day. Sometimes, you know, my husband and I will kind of get that we want to play Mario Kart, you know, you get that itch to play it, and so then we'll just be on less, you know, a couple weeks where we're playing it, and then I go a few months without playing it. It doesn't matter because it is one of the best games ever, and I never get sick of it. And that is a key criteria here for, you know, never getting sick of it is kind of what, you know, if I was really stuck on a desert island and I can only play so many games, I mean, it's a no-brainer. This was the first thing I thought of. It's like, well, hello, of course I'm going to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe all the time because it's so much fun and you can play it with other people, but it's still like a ton of fun on your own. It's great. All the tracks are super creative. There's tracks from older games. All the new tracks are really cool. They put so much care, effort, love, you know, everything into this game. They poured their heart and soul into this, and you can tell it shows. It is just so good, and I can't stop gushing about it. I mean, it feels good. Like, I play Excitebike, and I feel it. Like, I feel it in my stomach as you go, you know, over a jump. Like, I've never had any other racing game do that. I've never, like, been so excited about a racing game before other than this. So, hands down, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, definitely, it should be on everybody's desert island list. Next, let's go with a throwback, because it's one of my favorite games of all time, and that is Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. Oh my goodness, I still think it's the best Super Mario game. Sometimes I go back and forth between, you know, do I like 3D World more, or do I like World more? World is too good. I mean, yes, there's some nostalgia talking, but quite frankly, objectively, it is a solid, fantastic platformer. And platformers, by the way, I don't really get sick of them because you can just replay them over and over with some time in between. But this is the kind of game where it's like, yeah, I'll beat it, and then maybe 10 years later, I want to give it another shot and play it again because kind of like it's time. Sort of like certain movies. You're like, I haven't seen that for a bit. It's time to watch it again. And that is exactly what Super Mario World is. It's one of my favorite games from childhood, so I have tons of nostalgia with it. Tons. But I also think it's an amazing game. It's super fun. You know, there's tons of secrets and things to do in it. It's just, it took everything that Super Mario was and just like amped it up. It's so good. I know that so many people like Super Mario Bros. 3. I get it. And I like it too. But I do think Super Mario World is the incredible, the ultimate. I mean, my God, the music. There are certain songs like the castle music, different boss themes, and even the music in the ghost level. Oh my God, like it's just so good. It's just a really, really great platformer. Anyone can enjoy it. It's fantastic. That vaudeville piano score in there. Oh my God, it's incredible. I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. It is one of the best games ever. It's one of the best Super Nintendo games. It's one of the best of the best. It's just great. And it's so much fun because Yoshi is in it. You know, so you get all of that. But the world map was so big and it was so much fun to explore. I don't get sick of it, so I would absolutely love having it on a desert island. So having said all the wonderful things I just said about Super Mario World, let's go with my next game, and that is Super Mario 3D World, which is on the Wii U, obviously, but also on the Switch. And I really, really like this game because it's not as challenging, but it's really solid. It's a really, really neat game. I love the kind of, you know, balance between 2D and 3D. I know that's also in 3D Land on the 3DS, another fantastic game. But there's something about this one that I just really, really, really loved. It's so much fun. Also, incredible score. My goodness, the Bowser themes in this. It's like the jazziest evil number I've ever. It's great. It's so, so good. Music's a big thing for me, guys, too. So if the score is great, I'm into it. But wow, this is one of the best Super Mario platformers. I'm not as big into the just pure 3D Mario platformers like 64 or Odyssey, that kind of stuff. I mean, they're really good. They're really good, but I'm still more of a 2D fan. So the fact that this kind of combines the two is really fun and unique, and I really like it. My Wii U copy, I actually had Charles Martinet sign, and that was fantastic. Met him at an expo, I don't know, quite a few years ago, and it was really fun, and I think this game is solid. Bowser's Fury, by the way, also a really great, I don't want to say hidden gem, but I feel like maybe some people missed the boat on that, and it's a really, really, really cool game, and I'd like to see more Mario games in the future be like that. They should have like a full, you know, Bowser's Fury 2 or something. That would be really cool. But this is really neat. The cat suit is fun. Everything is great. Every level, every world is just an absolute delight, and I feel like I would love to just have this. If I had this, I would love to just sit and play it all day, and I wouldn't really get too sick of it, so I would absolutely like to have Super Mario 3D World if I was, you know, stuck on a desert island. It's just a really solid game, and platformers, to me, they have that replayability that certain games don't. JRPGs, they just don't have the same replayability to me, so if you've noticed, I haven't mentioned a JRPG yet, so that doesn't mean there isn't one on this list. It's just I don't replay them. Versus platformers, I do actually replay them. I go back and I love to replay them. So that's a huge thing here. As if you're stuck with everything, I don't really want to just play the same game with the same story. I don't know. It's more fun to maybe play a racing game or the, you know, theater rhythms, for instance. So that's a big theme here is, you know, story games, love them, they're my favorite, but on a desert island, I don't know. Next, we're going to go with a trilogy, and I just figured, let's do all three, because I couldn't decide. They're just all so darn good. So let's go with, I'm going to hold them all up here, we've got Donkey Kong Country 1, so I've got the first one here, and we've got, of course, Donkey Kong Country 2, which is incredible, oh my goodness, and then we have Donkey Kong Country 3, and this one has a special place in my heart, maybe one of my favorites, I think because when it came out, it was such a big deal, like I got it for Christmas and all that stuff, and it was just like a really, really cool experience for me, and it's just great, and also my cousin kind of beat the whole game for me, so I remember being able to go through all the levels myself, because it was really hard, like I was like really little, I was like 7 years old, and you know, not so good, and so if he could get through them, at least I could go through each one and experience all the levels. That was a really big deal for me. What I will say about Donkey Kong Country is, deep down, it's really tough, because Super Mario World, man, it is too good. It holds a special place in my heart. But Donkey Kong Country was cooler. Super Mario to me was like, Super Mario, really cool, represents Nintendo, you know, very neat, but Donkey Kong Country was like cooler. It was just a bit more different, and the graphics at the time, holy smokes, like I remember thinking this was like the coolest like 3D, yeah, I know they're like pre-rendered, but man, it was like the coolest thing you'd ever seen. It was so different than the complete 16-bit thing that Super Mario World was doing, and then you got Donkey Kong Country and you're like, this is insane, this is absolute insanity. I had never seen anything like it. You know, you have all the different animals that you can use in different levels. Different characters feel different. When you're playing as Donkey Kong, he's a bit more clunky, and a bit, you know, I don't like using him as much. I'd rather be Diddy or Dixie. So, super, super fun playing these games, and I have so many memories playing them with my parents, with my cousins, with my friends, just by myself. Like, it's the best. Like, Donkey Kong Country also, my goodness, all three have incredible scores. Like, the music to Donkey Kong Country by David Wise is next level. Like, it's amazing. I would go see a concert and sit for 5 hours listening to Donkey Kong Country music, because it is just like on another level of just really good stuff. Like, really, seriously, the underwater levels, I know it's used a lot, but I mean, I can hear it in my head, and it's just incredible. Such great compositions in there, and the way the graphics, the way everything felt, the world map, you know, I can hear all the music. You see Donkey Kong just on the screen, and you're feeling it, and it's fun. I can see Candy, I can see Funky, I can see all of that good stuff. It's just cool. Donkey Kong Country to me was cool. There's a level, I'm pretty sure it's in the third one, where you have to go through a lot of it backwards. Like, you have to press up if you want to go down, or left if you want to go right. It's crazy. It's very creative. I think Donkey Kong Country is just a little cooler, and it's a little bit more interesting than Super Mario World. To me, Super Mario has always been kind of safe, And Donkey Kong Country took really interesting risks. I love it. I also love the enemies. I love the Kremlings. Everything about it is great. Now, Donkey Kong Country as a series is still really good. It's fantastic. But there's something about those original 3 games. Holy smokes. I can't speak highly enough about them. And I think, man, if I'm on a desert island and I got some platformers, Donkey Kong Country is there. Like, that's probably what I want the most. I love Super Mario World, but I need my Donkey Kong Country. It's too good. I mean, I'm sorry, but the mine levels alone, the minecart levels, that's enough. All I have to say is minecart level, and you're just like, yeah, everybody needs this in their life. Next is an obvious one. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because I talk about it all the time. And you guys know what it is. It's Earthbound. And I'm only going to pick it because I love the game so much. It's my favorite game of all time, and I think if I'm on a desert island, I obviously have to have my favorite game of all time. It's one of the only JRPGs I'm totally willing to replay. Not like every year, but I want to replay it a lot. I like it. It's something I'll play again. I just recently replayed it. Had a fantastic time. It's still my favorite game. And yeah, 100%. It's just so cool. I want to be immersed in that world. If I could be in a JRPG world and I got to I have to be stuck in one, Earthbound is pretty cool. Like, just walking around on it, walking around 4-side, 3'd, whatever. Oh my god, it's so cool. Saturn Valley, like, it's a really neat game. And the music and everything just gives you that comforting feeling. And I thought, yeah, I could absolutely play that over and over again. So I will go with Earthbound for my first JRPG pick on this list because it's just so special to me. So those are the games that I would just immediately in my head, I'm like, okay, I would want those if I was stuck on a desert island, couldn't play anything else. And then I started thinking, well, what if I could bring, like you're gonna get stuck. What if I could bring a game that I've never played before? And so I started thinking, what would that be? Because I have lots of games on my shelf that I haven't played before. But I was trying to think, okay, what's a guarantee? What would I actually like? And then I thought, it's got to be long. It's got to be long. Because a long game, you're stuck on a desert island. And I thought, I want it to be a JRPG that I've never experienced before. That's really long. So what did I pick? Well, I chose Dragon Quest VII. It's one that I haven't played. I plan on playing it soon, but it's just, I haven't gotten to it yet. And Dragon Quest is one of those series that you know each one is going to be good. So even if it's maybe not your favorite, it's a guarantee that it will be a solid experience. And I thought, Dragon Quest VII is known as being one of the longest JRPGs ever, which is funny because I always look up how long it takes, and I'm like, I mean, there's tons of long games. I mean, geez, I've spent like 93 hours on Dragon Quest XI, and that never shows up on lists, but whatever. So the length doesn't really scare me, but I just thought I need a long JRPG to bring, and one that I know I'll like. And I thought, Dragon Quest VII, hello, like, I need to play it. And I thought that would be a perfect game for me on a desert island because there's so many positives to it. The length of it is the positive, that it's so long. I would spend so much time on it. I could take breaks, play Mario Kart, and then come back and play Dragon Quest VII. So that was kind of my, this is my list, I'll do what I want kind of pick. And I just thought, yeah, Dragon Quest VII, hello, like, it seems like a no-brainer. And it seems like a really fun game. And I love traditional, basic, simple JRPGs. Those are my favorite. And the only reason I didn't pick the original Pokemon, because trust me, the original Pokemon, Blue and Red, is one of my favorite games of all time, but damn, the grindiness of it has not aged so well, and I just thought I'd want something with experience share, and then I thought, I'm not gonna pick it, because of that, but it could easily be on this list for sure. Yes, but I didn't pick it for that reason. But Dragon Quest VII, yeah, I don't know. I feel like on 3DS with the quality of life upgrades, why not? Let's go with it, and it could be my new experience if I was trapped on a desert island. How would that happen? I don't know. Those are my picks for games if I was stranded on a desert island, and it was actually kind of hard to come up with them because so many games that are in my favorites, I'm just like, but I wouldn't bring that. Like, I was literally looking at my top Switch games, for instance, my top PS4 games, and I was like, that game is great, but do I want it on a desert island? I don't know, like Dragon Quest XI, one of my favorite games of all time, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, whatever, all these games that I really like, and then I was like, or like Xenoblade Chronicles. I just don't think I'd want it necessarily on a desert island because I've played it before, and I don't know, I either want something new or something that I never get sick of, and that was kind of my criteria for this one, so I am curious what your criteria is and like what would you bring on a desert island if you only bring a few games or whatever the number is, 4 games, 10 games, whatever. If you could only bring so many games and or you only have so many games to play for the rest of your life, what are those games? What are you playing? It's kind of a hard one to think of. It's kind of like if you could only listen to 10 songs for the rest of your life, what would those be? I mean, that's insane. I don't know if I could do that. But with games, yeah, it had to be something that I really enjoy and I don't get sick of. And that's why some of these games, I feel like even if they're older, it doesn't matter because I can still enjoy them. And I know that some of these games that are new, like Theater Rhythm, I'm not going to get sick of it. I'm not sick of Curtain Call, and that came out quite a while ago. So, you know, these are games that I just absolutely love. I'm so excited. I only have positive things really to speak about them, so they really fit the bill here. They fit the criteria for games I would want if I could only play so many. That's my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.